I'm delighted to be here today and to look out a room full of diehard Trojans, and I include alumni, some of our current students, and those who hopefully are going to become students. I also was thrilled to hear how many Trojans there are in Atlanta. I don't know why those of us from Los Angeles think that that's unusual, but it is wonderful to know. And it's particularly exciting for us to know that we have a large number of students in our MAT at USC program here in Atlanta. Before we get started, I want to recognize three people that are with me today from our campus in Los Angeles. First of all, Dr. Melora Sunt back here. Dr. Sunt is my Associate Dean for Academic Programs and a faculty member in the school. Next to her is Dr. Corinne Hyde, and Corinne is a faculty member and teaches in the MAT at USC. And back in the corner here we have Mr. Reed Talata, and Reed is a partner with us on the MAT, and he works with Tutor. So I think that a picture is indeed worth 1,000 words, and so I've shaved 1,000 words off my comments today, and I'm going to show you a video which I think really captures the activity and energy of the Rossier School of Education.
I think what makes the school different when you look back over our history is that we have not been afraid to look at what we've done well and say it's not good enough right now. The Rossier School of Education is not your grandmother's school of education.
The world around us is just changing so rapidly that we absolutely, as educators, need to be constantly looking at our skills and trying to measure what the changes are for the future. If you have a program where students are encouraged to be innovative and the professors are encouraged to be innovative, then the rest will fall into place.
The Rossier School of Education is the most innovative school of education that I've ever had the opportunity to engage with, and I think they are leading the way on a number of different fronts.
The MAT at USC is one of a kind. We currently have students in 40 states taking our teacher preparation program online. I think with our new program of using technology to prepare people to be teachers, we expect teachers prepared in this way will go out into their own classrooms and bring with them these same tools to be an effective teacher.
Whether you're talking about Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, Hong Kong, Vietnam, we believe our work can expand throughout the nation and throughout the world.
One of the best experiences I've had in the last 4 years has been going to China. These programs, these exchanges that we're doing now, open our eyes as doctoral students to the scope of our work.
An educated person of the 21st century must know a lot about the world. I see very few other universities coming to my part of the world, seeking collaborations, seeking research opportunities, seeking exchange programs. Gallagher has been taking the lead.
When I think about the Rossier School of Education, I think about distinguished professors who really teach our youngsters in ways which prepare them for the world.
We have always had faculty that are engaged in researching the problems that face educators, and then we use the results to try and change practices and help them become more effective.
While many research universities have focused primarily on what does the research say, the key aspect of our work is what do people do in the field.
What you find in Rossier School of Education is the blending in the school to be sure that there's a good balance between research and practice.
I've had great support in my own doctoral research, superintendents and teachers who are out in the field who have welcomed me and allowed me to pursue my research in their classrooms and in their districts. So having a network of support behind you in whatever you want to do is very liberating and very empowering. We study education because we have a feeling of making a change.
I want to become a teacher because I want to motivate students to learn. Students that I feel were in similar situations as I was growing up.
I have never seen a school of ed that I think is more fundamentally committed to doing the right thing in our community than at USC. The university has teamed up to help work through the transformation of one of the traditionally lowest performing high schools in the city of Los Angeles, Crenshaw High School. Graduation rates are rising. Parents and the teachers are thoughtfully engaged. They are the model of what a great university should be doing.
The global debate on education is just starting. In that debate, there are going to be a handful of organizations that step forward, not simply as thought leaders, but as do leaders. There's a very small number of schools who think like that. Rossier is right at the front of that list.
We're looking for a student who has that fire in the belly and the intensity and the desire to go out and make a difference. This is the place to come to learn how to be that change agent and to do it well.
Thank you. I am always thrilled to be able to talk about the work of the faculty, alumni, and students in the Rossier School. So I very much was glad I could share this video today. And this year, the USC Rossier School of Education is celebrating its centennial with a call to action of innovate, educate, and transform. I think that you can see many of the ways that we've tried to do that through the video. The MAT at USC is, I believe, the most innovative Master of Arts in Teaching program that's available anywhere, and it is certainly the only one from a major research university currently being offered. It blends the best of interactive technology with authentic, hands-on experience in the schools that need teachers the most. If we continue to the success that we've seen so far, and we have every reason to believe that we will, then thousands of highly qualified USC-trained teachers will join urban and high-need school districts around the country in the next few years. And that will make a difference in what happens to student outcomes. And tomorrow we're here at a conference called AACTE, that's the American Association of Colleges of Teacher Ed, and our MAT program is winning the best practices as the most innovative use of technology in education, and I think that's one indication of the quality of that particular program. You saw our robust international exchange work in the video. Our PRIZE Center, and PRIZE stands for the Asia Pacific Rim Study Experience, International Study Experience. And through a PRIZE, we are continuing to organize global study tours for our doctoral students and now even our MAT students. Rossier recently established 2 new fellowships, the Cindy Hensley McCain Global Educator Fellowship for Aspiring Teachers, named in honor of one of our most illustrious alumni, and then the Stephen B. Sample Global Educational Leadership Fellowship for doctoral students. And we believe that all educators must have an international perspective and the knowledge of global commonalities if they're going to be successful in wherever they choose to teach or lead. Our university's commitment to diversity and to globalization is also critical to the Rossier School of Education's mission, which is to strengthen urban education locally, nationally, and globally. The first thing I always want to remind people is that is how to pronounce Rossier. So Rossier rhymes with career, and the meaningful careers in urban education are a hallmark of all of our programs and of our research. But the term urban is not simply characterized by physical boundaries or geography. It is characterized by many challenges: poverty, density, mobility and immigration, strained social conditions surrounding housing, healthcare, crime, and cultural and linguistic diversity. These kinds of challenges are as real here in Atlanta as they are in Beijing, China, or in the Los Angeles neighborhoods surrounding USC. Today, in this beautiful venue, it's appropriate to talk a few minutes about the role that the arts can and do play in education, particularly with students who have the challenges I just mentioned. Whether it's the visual arts, dance, music, or theater, we know that the arts nurture the development of cognitive, social, and personal competencies. Sometimes the arts can provide a reason, often the only reason, for students to engage with school. And many times, the arts connect students with one another and to adults through the personal experience of actually performing in a play or in a band concert. And when arts education becomes central to the learning environment, schools and other informal educational settings like museums become places of discovery. Also, students can experience their teachers or other adults in a different context through attendance at a play, a museum exhibit, or a symphonic concert, when they can share a creative or artistic achievement as mutual faculty members. We have seen this kind of success at USC through programs such as the 24th Street Theater in the USC neighborhood. Aligning with the USC family of schools, this after-school program is for 1st through 7th graders, most of whom fall into that category of high needs. The program is called After Cool. Faculty and students from the School of Theater and from Rossier work with these youngsters to help them create imaginative scenarios in small plays that might be taken from difficult scenes in their own lives. By acting out and supplying their own hopeful endings, these students are modeling behaviors with positive results. And the impact on the students is revealing. Students in the After Cool program regularly show up at the theater when classes aren't even scheduled. The 24th Street Theater is a place where they can find solace, escape, and inspiration. For some students, that same inspiration is in a museum like the High Museum, or in a concert hall, or in a rock band, or an art class. But there is no question that a student who is inspired is a student who is more open to learning in general. Before I conclude, let me just take a moment to bring you up to date on the latest happenings across the USC campus. As you know, this year we will say a heartfelt farewell to President Stephen B. Sample and welcome a new president. This change will undoubtedly transform the university in many ways, as he did 19 years ago. But we are already undergoing a true metamorphosis, rapidly evolving from a commuter university into a residential university. As many of you probably experienced firsthand, most of USC students used to commute to campus, but all of that is changing now. Everywhere you look, on campus and in the neighborhood, there are signs that more and more undergraduate students are calling campus home 7 days a week. Over the next 25 to 30 years, USC and its commercial partners plan to provide housing on or near campus for all of its undergraduate students and for a large percentage of graduate students. A centerpiece of our transition from a commuter campus to a residential university is the new Ronald Tudor Campus Center, which is scheduled to open in July. It is on the site of the former Commons and Topping Student Center, which I'm sure many of you remember. The Tudor Center will have more than 150,000 square feet and will provide a hub of activity for students, alumni, faculty, staff, and friends of the university. And I definitely hope when you come to campus that you have a chance to visit this facility. It is an amazing place. And as our campus changes, so does our student body. Currently, USC admits one of the most academically talented freshman classes in the nation. We're in the top 1% of all colleges and universities in terms of selectivity. We have over 34,000 applicants and admit only about 21%. More than 20% of our incoming freshmen are legacy students. Some of your children and grandchildren, I know, are part of that. This is the highest number of scions we've had in more than a decade. This year's freshman class was also more diverse than ever before, both ethnically and socioeconomically. USC enrolls more Latino students, undergraduate students, than all but one other private research university. Over the last 3 years, the university has had a 20% increase in the number of African American students. And in keeping with our proud title as a global university, USC enrolls the largest population of international students of any university in the U.S., and that's 7,500 this year. I'm specifically proud of our diversity at Rossier, where Diverse Magazine ranked us among the top 3 universities for awarding educational doctorate degrees to students of color. At Rossier, we are proud to educate the future teachers, school counselors, principals, superintendents, and educational researchers who will be change agents for communities such as Atlanta and across the country and the world. One of our secret weapons is the Trojan family. None of our advances could be possible without the help of, and support of our alumni and friends like you in this room today. It's an exciting time, I believe, to be a Trojan, so I thank you for coming today, and fight on. Thanks. Now, I also would love to answer questions if you have any about the school, the university, anything I said. Yes?
You mentioned the great work you're doing in outreach to Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all engaged now in current programs to Latin America?
We have, as part of an organization that Steve Sample called the Asia Pacific Rim Universities, Mexico and Chile are part of that. We have just opened an office in Mexico City, and I'll tell you, we have not been as successful in Mexico and Chile because of some of the language barriers. The use of English at the universities is not as prevalent as it is in some of the Asian countries. However, we are going to be leading one of our trips to Mexico within the next year. So we hope to be able to build on what we have done particularly in China. Other questions? Okay, well, I thank you for coming, and I hope that you will walk away with some, we brand you, or, we'd love you to take away whatever we have over here. And again, it's a pleasure to be in Atlanta and to meet with you today. Thank you.